Hello everybody, my name is Tiffany Tremolares and welcome back to another very important segment of Channel 13 Taylor Swift News. Today, we are breaking down all of the Easter eggs that you missed in her new, extraordinary, You Need to Calm Down music video. And no, I will not calm down. Hey guys, it's Tiffany and welcome back to my channel. If you haven't already, please subscribe. I post so many new videos every single week. I do a lot of Taylor Swift videos, I do reaction videos, I do vlogs, I do lookbooks, I do hauls, I do everything in between. So I would love it if you subscribed. Give this video a thumbs up if you like it, and please follow me on Instagram so you can stay up to date on everything that I'm doing on YouTube and my podcast and everything else. So today, of course, like I said, is Taylor Swift News Hour. I did a Decoding Her Me music video back in April when it came out, and I absolutely loved it. I loved finding all of the Easter eggs, and it seemed like you guys really enjoyed that video as well. So I knew I had to do a You Need to Calm Down decoding video. I know I'm a little bit late to the game compared to other people, but I've been super busy this week. It's been a fun, exciting week, but I'm so excited to sit down and film this right now because this video truly does have so many Easter eggs and you just gotta keep your eyes peeled. Also, I got my Taylor Swift Me merch. Oh, I'm the only one of me. This shirt is so cute, it's so comfy. I also got the pink crop top. It's super cute too, but I highly recommend this one. So, without further ado, why don't we just get on into the decoding video, because this thing is jam-packed, people. We've got lots to discuss. So the first clip of her, she's laying down in her bed. She looks to me like a super trendy, beautiful pinup girl, like from the 50s, with the way her hair is in the curlers, and she's got a sleep mask on that says, "Calm down," and she has the red lip, because I've got that red lip, classic thing that you like. And to me, it really just seems like this is an ode to just saying the whole vibe of the music video is that she's just now unbothered by the haters and the hate. Like, she's laying down here, she's got her mask on that says calm down, but she's sleeping, she's unbothered by it. Okay, so this is a very interesting clip. So there are a couple things that stand out to me. So there's the cup of dice, and to the left of the dice, the numbers add up to 13, which obviously 13 is Taylor Swift's favorite number. She always tries to do that as much as she can. But I will point out many different scenes throughout this video where the number 13 is very prevalent. And I think that that means that track 13 on this album is going to be a very important track, because she obviously has put in references to 13 before, but never in the capacity that she is in this music video. Then, beyond the dice that are to the side of it, the total dice add up to the number 67, which when this video was released, it equaled 67 days from that date until the day August 23rd, which is when her Lover album's coming out. And then also, again, this whole little setup just looks super retro in terms of its whole vibe with the curlers and the makeup, and it just seems like a very retro theme. And I think that this has to do with the overall vibe of, you'll see later, her kind of leaving her old life behind. And I think it's an ode to like leaving behind old ways and kind of antiquated thinking strategies and like ideas of perceptions of people and old ways of the treatment to the LGBTQ community, and stepping into a new age of support and allyship. Okay, so this next clip is the clip with her blender of the drink that she's making and all the little things around it. So you see the Skittles. The Skittles have 6 outside of the bowl, which people think that's an ode to June being Pride Month. June is related to 6 for the month. And then she also has a bottle of pink champagne. But to me, when I first saw it, I was like, oh, that's rosé. And Pink Champagne technically is rosé, and I think that has a lot to do with the whole references to roses that she's had so much so far in this era, as well as you'll see later in the video. And I think that roses will have some significance to the Lover album. Maybe it's a name of a song, maybe it just symbolizes the overall vibe of everything, like maybe her tour is gonna feature a lot of roses. She did have roses on set for her Wango Tango performance, and she said she did leave an Easter egg on stage, so people are thinking maybe that roses have to do with that. I do think the Easter egg that she left was probably the Stella McCartney sneakers, but I definitely think that roses has something to do with the album. Next is this quote that everyone has been talking about. It says, "Mom, I am a rich man." And if you don't know, this is a quote from Cher back in the 90s. And Cher was basically saying that she doesn't need men. She was saying, I think of men like I think of dessert. Like, it's super nice to have it. I really enjoy it. I love them, but I don't find it necessary to my life. And then she said that her mom said, when are you just gonna settle down with a rich man? And she said, "Mom, I am a rich man." So I think that's kind of what Taylor is trying to portray with this. You know, every single album before this has really all been focused around love stories. And Taylor and her different various boyfriends that she had and the heartbreaks that she had gone through. But so far in this era, the two songs that have been released have really been more about self-love and self-acceptance and ignoring the people who don't love you and don't accept you, and really just focusing on who does. Like, Me was very self-love, even though it did have romantic undertones to it. The whole vibe of it was, you know, there are a lot of things that make me unique and make me special, and I'm the only one of me. So that's why I think like we could be a good match. And then You Need to Calm Down is all about blocking out the haters and really about self-love and self-acceptance and loving other people as well. So I think this is kind of an ode to her kind of shift in music, as opposed to so many love story focused albums before, and now kind of more of a different tone. She also said this album's gonna be a lot more political, which she's never done before. So again, kind of taking the spotlight off of her personal romances and focusing more on other topics. So this clip of Taylor, I really find interesting. To me, as soon as I saw it right off the bat, I thought that it looked so similar to Blank Space in the music video, where she's sitting on the bed and she's wearing all black. She has a sleep mask on her head. She's wearing a very similar outfit, except just in all black. So to me, I see this as an elevated version of Blank Space. So I think it's kind of like double-sided, right? So because this is a scene in which she's going to be leaving, I think that she's trying to draw a parallel to her previous self, kind of to her previous mindsets, her previous eras, like 1989, and show a departure from that, but also to show that she's grown from that and is a more elevated, better version of herself. Like before the Blank Space, she was in all black, and it was really kind of focused around her being like a man killer and everything like that. This clip of her, she's in all pink, so it's a much brighter version of herself. Also, the whole Blank Space era, it was all about, you know, the media coming against her in terms of her romances and bad blood and everything like that, and portraying her in a negative light. And now that she's finally like, no, I'm not gonna listen to you and your negative thoughts about me, and I am just living my best life, you know, drinking rosé cocktails. So here she has her cat watch. So the cat on her watch is her new cat, Benjamin Button. But you will also notice that instead of a 1 on this watch, there's a 13. So again, I think that this is just another piece where she's inserting the number 13, and throughout this you'll see all the other pieces, but I really think that that means track 13 is going to have a huge significance on this album. And also, you will notice that, connect the dots, it's 7:13 on the watch, okay? Because she's 7 a.m. and then right before the scene pans away, the minute hand reaches to 13. So I think that that could be an indication that she's having another single release and possible music video release on July 13th, because typically she does release 3 different singles ahead of the album drop. Like for the Reputation era, she had Look What You Made Me Do. She had Gorgeous, I know came out before the album. I'm pretty sure Ready For It came out before the album, and I know a Call It What You Want lyric video came out before the album. So she definitely still has a couple more, maybe 1 or 2 singles to drop before the album comes out. And so I think this is kind of a foreshadowing that it's going to be on July 13th. So the next scene is her looking at she's making her cotton candy cocktail, right? She looks at her phone, she's like, what is this? Throws it behind her and it catches on fire on the bed. And I think this kind of ties into the whole idea that she's done with the haters and she's done looking at the haters. Like, as you know, right before the Reputation era, she turned off all ability to comment on her Instagram. So, and she said since then that she did that specifically because she was tired of letting people just comment whatever they wanted, whatever hate comments they could, and she couldn't look at it anymore because she allowed it to get to her. So now this is her showing, like, you know what, I'm done with this. Her phone light's on fire. It's just showing like, I'm done looking at social media trolls. I'm done letting my phone kind of control my life. And then also the other thing is, it's so funny, when the first time I watched this video, I was like, oh my God, I want that phone case. And of course, because Taylor's a genius, released it on her store that day. So you can actually buy that phone case as well as the sleep mask and the cat watch on taylorswift.com. Okay, so the famous back tattoo that was the cover art for this single, again, it is the butterflies and the snake, so the snake evolving and turning into butterflies. Like I said in the Decoding Me music video, a group of butterflies is called a kaleidoscope. So now that we officially know that her album's not called Kaleidoscope, I still firmly believe that there will be a song called Kaleidoscope because of how many references that she's been having to groups of butterflies now in both videos. I absolutely love this shot of her. I think Taylor looks absolutely gorgeous in this with the pink and the hair done up like a pinup girl and the sunglasses. And also a lot of people have been pointing out that the earrings she's wearing are very similar to a pair that Katy Perry has previously worn. And I don't know if this is some sort of, or if it's supposed to be some sort of foreshadowing to Katy Perry being in this music video and the piece that they have now, or if it's just purely coincidence. I think there's a strong chance that it could be just, they're super cute earrings. I mean, and it fits perfectly in this scene. But then the other thing that you will notice in this scene is the trailer burning behind her. So again, I think this is symbolic of Taylor kind of lighting fire to her past. She has done this now. This is the 3rd music video in the 3rd era in which she has had a scene in a music video of her walking away from a fire behind her. So first you have Bad Blood, where her and the rest of her squad were walking away, and that was in reference to, you know, kind of setting fire to the whole feud that had been going on, and like Bad Blood was really Taylor Swift's rebuttal against the things that Katy Perry had done to kind of push her to that point. So it was kind of setting fire, I think, to the friendship and kind of to the feud. Then in the Look What You Made Me Do music video, you have Taylor setting fire to the what looks like a Taylor Swift store, almost like a luxury store. So it's the scene where she crashes the car and there's all this paparazzi outside taking pictures of her. So she sets fire to the area and she's walking away with her leopard. So that, I think, was a whole reference to kind of setting fire again to the media, to things people had been saying about her. And now finally she's setting fire to, I think, what she's trying to say is kind of like her old eras of having everything really be focused on her, and really now trying to focus on bigger issues and using her platform to spread so much positivity, and she's really, I think, trying to take the spotlight off of herself. Other people have noticed that she has the daisy in her drink as she's walking away. And Taylor Swift liked a post on Tumblr in which a Swiftie was saying that, look, Taylor Swift is lighting, you know, everything on fire, walking away, but she's taking the daisy with her. And Taylor liked that post. Now, if you know, in Don't Blame Me, she has a lyric that goes, I once was poison ivy and now I'm your daisy. So I think that is a reference to, I personally think it could be Joe Alwyn, kind of like she's setting fire to everything, like she's kind of changing her ways, leaving that behind, but she's taking someone with her. and she's taking parts of her old self with her. I think that's what that means. Now, I'm going to get into a theory that some people are saying, but I don't want to make any real commentary towards because I don't think that it's our place and I really don't think it's our business. A lot of people are saying that that looks very similar to the trailer that was in her and Karlie Kloss's Vogue photo shoot. And you know, there have been a lot of Taylor theories, and people think that the daisy is in reference to Karlie Kloss because when her and Karlie Kloss went on a road trip back in 2014, Taylor posted an Instagram of a daisy and said best road trip ever. So people think that the line, I once was poison ivy and now I'm your daisy, is about Karlie Kloss, and they think that there's some sort of possible romance going on there. Personally, I don't want to comment on that. I don't think it's appropriate. Karlie Kloss is married. Taylor Swift is with Joe Alwyn. We will never know what happened in their personal life, but I don't think that it's appropriate for fans to make assumptions on someone's sexual orientation. But I just wanted to point out what the theory was in reference to that, because I know some people would probably comment that, and I've seen so many people talking about it on social media, so I wanted to put that out there. But again, I don't want to put my commentary in that because I just don't think it's appropriate. Okay, then you have Taylor in the shot in the pool. She's wearing her fur jacket in the pool in a yellow inner tube, and the pool is lined with roses. Again, I think there's some significance regarding roses in this era, the Rainbow Tango performance, the rosé. I think there's some sort of connection to roses again. Also, I'm so tired of people trying to say that Taylor Swift has copied Beyonce. First of all, they tried to come for her saying she copied Beyonce with the marching band thing for her performance at the Billboard Music Awards. First of all, Taylor Swift has been using marching bands since 2008, You Belong With Me, okay? So she used marching bands before Beyonce. Now people are saying that she's copying Beyonce because she's in a pool. Okay, so being in a pool on an inner tube or something means you're copying someone, no one else can do it. There are so many things in music videos that you could count as similar to someone else. I mean, being in a pool is not an original idea, I'm sorry. And if you're gonna get technical about it, Sharpay Evans did it first, so if you're gonna try to claim that Taylor Swift copied Beyonce, then I'm gonna claim that Beyonce copied High School Musical and Miss Sharpay Evans. Okay, thanks, bye! Okay, so obviously you know throughout this video, there are so many celebrity cameos, so many amazing celebrities within the LGBTQ community have made an appearance in this. I couldn't even name all of them if I tried, but I will definitely point out some of the more notable ones that are kind of connected to different Easter eggs that she dropped leading up to this. But what I do want to point out in this scene is the mailbox that says love letters only. Now, I think this could be a double-edged sword, okay? So love letters only, I think, could mean the fact that you get so much hate mail. Like, you can see that this mailbox is overflowing with mail. I think that could be a reference to like people getting so much hate mail online and saying like, no, we don't want it, we want love letters only. I do also think that that could be in reference to possible song name or possible lyric in a future song regarding love letters only, or maybe it's just called love letters. I don't know, but I think there is some sort of connection there, but I also think it's just the baseline of we don't want any hate mail. Okay, then you've got Taylor with Todrick Hall, and if you didn't know already, Todrick Hall was a co-executive producer with Taylor on this video. She asked him in a very cute way with a little like letter that she handed to him, and it was like, would you like to be my co-executive producer? Say yes girl or no honey, and he was so surprised, but she was saying that he really worked so hard in the video, got so many amazing people to join in the video, and she wanted to give him credit where credit is due. Then you will see that her necklace says 13, again, another 13 reference. I don't think this is a coincidence. Like, we know Taylor loves the 13, but she has never used this many insertions of the number 13 in a music video before, no matter how much she loves it. So I think it has to mean that track 13 is of significance. Or wait, I even thought, what if there even is a song literally named 13? Because, you know, she has so many songs named like with numbers that regards to age, but maybe it has to do with 13 because it's been 13 years since the start of her career. Maybe that's it. Ooh. Next off, A lot of people have noticed that Taylor's hair is the color of the bisexual flag. And again, people are making those connections to a possible Taylor theory, or people are thinking that Taylor is bisexual. But what I don't agree with in this whole situation is it's never appropriate to speculate on someone's sexual orientation or to out them. It's very inappropriate in that way. So even if she was, I don't think it's appropriate to make those connections. What I think is she's trying to be as inclusive as possible and really show support and allyship for multiple different members of the LGBT community. For example, I didn't even know that was the flag of the bisexual community. I didn't know that they had their own flag. So I think that she's doing a great job at educating people throughout this song, throughout this video, on everything regarding the LGBTQ community, because like I said before that, I didn't know that they had their own flag and that this color palette was in connection to that, and I learned that through other Swifties noticing that on social media and commenting on it. So I think that she really is trying to show her support. Also, if you haven't seen already on Tumblr, before this video came out, there was a theory that at the end, Katy Perry and Taylor Swift in the burger and french fries outfits would kiss, and a fan was saying, like, you know that's not appropriate, right? Like, you know that's a dumb idea, please tell me you're not doing that. And she commented and she said that's absolutely false. She said that there's a difference between being an ally and showing support and baiting, and she's like, and we definitely wouldn't do that. So in that comment, she made it clear that she's an ally and not a member of the community herself. So I think that kind of puts all of the theories to rest. Okay, next we've got Hayley Kiyoko, which you know, Hayley Kiyoko, she brought up on stage with her at one of her rap performances to sing with, and then Hayley Kiyoko is shooting a bullseye, and in the middle of the bullseye is 5, which you know has to be in reference to the infamous track 5. If you didn't know, there is a theme on every single Taylor Swift album where track 5 is probably the most emotional song. I think the whole connection to it really started when All Too Well was track 5, and All Too Well is probably her most raw and emotional song of all time. But throughout every album, track 5 has been generally the most emotional song. Delicate, Dear John. So I think there's definitely a theme. Taylor Swift has noted and, you know, kind of secretly confirmed that by liking Tumblr posts. So I think that this is definitely in reference to track 5. I think track 5 is gonna be amazing. I think that's kind of like a foreshadowing. Possibly could track 5 be named Bullseye or something to do with this target? Maybe. Some people are speculating that Hayley Kiyoko is featured on track 5. I don't know about that. I think because track 5 has always been known to be the most emotional song on the album, I don't particularly think that Taylor Swift would do a collab for track 5, because track 5 is always really about her and her personal struggles or experiences. So I don't think it would be a collab. However, I do think there's a strong possibility that Hayley Kiyoko could be opening for her on tour. I think she's an amazing up and coming artist that Taylor has collaborated with, obviously, you know, by bringing her up on stage. And so I think that could kind of be a foreshadowing into that. Then you have the scene where Jesse Tyler Ferguson and his husband, who are actually married in real life, are getting married. It's officiated by Sierra. And then it pans to the protesters, who are very angry. And there's a theme in this where all of the protesters are very angry. They're very drab. They look like they're very miserable, while everyone else is very colorful and having a great time and seems so happy. And you will also see that on the signs. But then the scene pans to Tan France, who is a cast member on Queer Eye, and he is sipping the tea. And I think that's just another reference, you know, sipping the tea, like he's like kind of commenting on it like, okay, like we're still doing our thing. Just walking by, I'm unbothered by the protesters, you know what I mean? Then it pans to the scene of her sitting at the table with the rest of the cast members of Queer Eye, and they're all sipping tea. Then a lot of people have noticed that the teacups are identical to the teacups that Taylor Swift had on set with Ellen back in 2012 when she did that little skit with Sophia Grace and Rosie. So I don't know if there's any connection or if it's a coincidence. I don't know if it's a foreshadowing to Ellen being in the video later on, but Ellen comes on in just a couple seconds. So I don't know if that's it or if it's a coincidence. I don't know, or if it's just that they're really cute tea sets with roses, but again, another rose reference, okay? Then in the next scene, you have Ellen Degeneres getting her tattoo by Adam Lambert, and the tattoo says Cruel Summer. So Cruel Summer, what is the meaning of that, okay? There's a lot of different theories. Possible song name, okay? Cruel Summer, I think that definitely sounds like what would be track 5. It sounds very raw and emotional of portraying something that happened to her during a summertime incident. The Kim and Kanye thing happened during the summer. Also, that could be a reference to the fact that Kanye had an album or a collection of music titled Cruel Summer. I don't know if she's still connected to that. I think she might have moved on from that whole incident, but that happened during the summertime. I think a lot of other events have happened in the summertime for her. So I think that definitely is a song name. I think it sounds like track 5 to me. Maybe that's a connection to, oh, you know what it could be? Maybe track 5 is not called Bullseye, but when they're hitting it right on the bullseye, maybe that means that like track 5, we hit it straight on the arrow in this video. Like it's right in front of you. And maybe that means that track 5 is called Cruel Summer. I'm calling it, people. I'm calling it track 5, Cruel Summer. Then you have Taylor and some other people, you know, they're all laying on their lawn chairs. It's a whole like rainbow bonanza. They're unbothered. They've got the protesters right in front of them screaming at them, and they don't care. They're just laying, sun tanning, living their best life. But you will notice that the protesters have signs, and one of the signs says, "Get a brain, morons," except morons is spelled wrong. It's like morans. And there are 2 things in this, okay? There are actually 3 things. And the first thing I thought right off the bat was this is just kind of like an oxymoron. Like these protesters are telling them to get a brain, but yet they don't know how to spell moron. So it's like they kind of need to be educated on the issue. They don't particularly know what they're talking about in regards to the LGBTQ community. Second thing I learned was this was an actual sign that a protester had at a like anti-LGBT protest in the past. Someone literally made a sign spelling morons wrong. And the third thing is there's actually a senator with the last name Moran who has been known to be very anti-LGBT and has signed bills or proposed bills against the legalization of gay marriage back in however long ago that was. So I think there's kind of like a 3-edged sword to this, kind of coming full circle. Then we go to the scene of the Pop Queen pageant, which I love. So what you have here is, it's like RuPaul's Drag Race. You have RuPaul and he's like going to crown someone, but everyone lined up is iconic pop stars that Taylor has been pitted against in the media. Some people were like, well, why wasn't so-and-so in here? But everyone in this lineup were people that she has been directly linked to in the media, having like feuds with, even some of them that weren't true. So you've got Ariana Grande, Lady Gaga, Adele, Cardi B, Taylor's in the middle. Then you've got Beyonce, Katy Perry, and Nicki Minaj. So then you have RuPaul coming down and he's got the crown on the pillow and it's like he's about to crown someone, and then he's like, you know what? He throws the crown up in the air, referencing we've all got crowns. Like there's no one's better than the other. Every pop star, like every one of these pop stars all have their own strengths. They all have their own talents. They all have their own fan base, and there's no need to put them against each other because they're all different. Like everyone is so different. There's no need to try to compare them. But then the crown looks very representative of like Reputation era. It's gold, it's very ornate, and it's got the green emeralds, which seems very much like something involved in the Reputation era. So I think that could be kind of a foreshadowing into maybe a song that's maybe transitioning her out of Reputation and into this new Lover era. Now the thing to note is, she has said that Lover is her biggest album ever. It has 18 tracks, okay? But these two songs, if you look on your like pre-saved version of the album on Apple, you will see that these two songs, You Need to Calm Down and Me, are some of the very last songs on the album. I believe like Me is number 15. And so what I think this is Lover's gonna tell a story, and the very end of Lover is going to be like the very happy self-acceptance, you need to calm down, and me, okay? And I think in the beginning, it's going to be much more raw and much more vulnerable and kind of like telling a story of struggles that she's gone through. And I think that also makes sense with the whole Cruel Summer theory. Maybe Cruel Summer is track 5. So maybe that The Crown maybe The Crown looking very like Reputation era is kind of symbolic of that transition that's gonna happen on the album. Because think about it, this crown very could have easily, everything else in this video is rainbow and colorful and pink. This crown could have been a pink tiara. So I think it's important to note that it looks very much like Reputation era. Then the cake scene where they're all grabbing pieces of cake to kind of throw and do the food fight. I will note that this one cake, the heart-shaped cake, looks almost identical to the cake in Blank Space where she's sitting on the bed in the outfit that I said looks similar to the one in the beginning of this music video. And she grabs the cake and then she stabs the cake with a big butcher knife and like fake blood comes out of it. This cake looks very similar to that, except that this cake has roses, again, with the roses reference. I know it has to be something. I think maybe even a song will be called Roses or Eternal Rose or La Vie en Rose or something. Then you've got, of course, the scene that everyone has been waiting for, Katy Perry and Taylor Swift, the French fries and hamburger. Now, you might be thinking like, why? Why are they French fries and hamburgers? So if you didn't know, Katy Perry wore a hamburger dress designed by Moschino to the Met Gala this year. And Taylor saw her wearing that. So like Taylor and Katy have made up much prior to this, I would say last year. So Taylor saw Katy wearing that and she had an idea. She's like, wouldn't it be so funny like if you were wearing the hamburger dress and I was dressed as French fries, kind of to symbolize two things that really go together and that finally like realize they go together and end up meeting up, like a burger and French fries. Like, Taylor has said in an interview that she realized that they really do have a lot of similarities. They have a lot of common interests, and there's really no reason they should have had this feud for all this time when really they could have been friends this whole time because they really do vibe well together. Then you've got Ryan Reynolds painting the Stonewall Inn, and if you don't know, the Stonewall Inn is the place of the Stonewall riots that occurred in 1969 that were really kind of the catalyst for the whole pro-LGBTQ movement. Taylor also performed at the Stonewall Inn last week, and I think this is another way to kind of show that there are allies to this community. Like Ryan Reynolds is not a member, but he's an ally. And it's kind of like in reference to the famous painter who painted the Stonewall Inn riots at that time. So he's kind of portraying him and how he was an ally as well. Then I really like this scene, and it actually took me a few views of the video to actually pick this up. If you notice, again, you've got the protesters, they've got their signs, but in the very forefront of those protesters are two protesters who look much younger than the rest of them. And they look around like, what are we doing? And throw their signs away, okay? That I didn't even notice until I watched this video like 5 times. And I think that's very important, and I think it's something to note, because I think that a lot of people who might hate on others, no matter what it is, no matter who they're hating against, it could be anyone. Hate is something that's learned, okay? You're not born hating anybody. You don't know what hate is when you're a child. You learn hate from exactly what I just said, learning it. You learn it from your parents, you learn it from the people around you, and I think that it's important to note that these young people are throwing it away, and they're making realizations for themselves, and they're like, what are we doing here? Hating. Like, what is the point of this? We don't agree with this. We kind of have just been going along with it because either our parents or the older people in our life did it, and we thought we were supposed to. And I think it's showing that growing up as generations, it's really important to educate yourselves and to form your own opinions in any matter. It doesn't even have to do with hate. It doesn't have to do with protest. It doesn't have to do with anything. It could be any subject. I don't think you have to just follow what has been presented to you by themes in your community or you know, things you see on TV. I think it's important to form your own opinions, and I think that's what she's trying to say with the younger generation especially, is that the young generation has so much opportunity to really educate themselves and be an ally and to really learn about different topics and really get involved in any way they can. The final scene is Taylor and Katy hugging. I think it's so cute. It's a great end to the video, just showing like peace at last, uniting. So I can't believe this is the end of the video. I've gotten through all of the Easter eggs. And if you stuck around to the end, thank you. I love you guys so much. I love that I have a platform on YouTube, no matter how small it is, that I can share my theories and my love of Taylor Swift or the Jonas Brothers or anyone else with other similar people to me, because like in my personal life, I don't really have anyone who is as obsessed with Taylor Swift as me or as invested in like finding the Easter eggs. So like when I posted the Me music video, Decoding, the amount of comments I got from people like who had their own theories, who commented, or who just liked the video was amazing, and I truly appreciate you guys for that, and anyone who subscribed. And if you have your own theories, or if you disagree on any of my theories or anything like that, I would love for you to comment down below, because I know there's probably some that I missed, or maybe some that I didn't interpret correctly. So I would love your opinions, and please comment down below if you can. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. I spent so much time working on it, and I would love that. If you liked it, please subscribe. I'm gonna be doing so many more Taylor Swift videos, just because I realized they're some of my favorite to make. But again, thank you so much for joining this special edition Taylor Swift News Hour on Channel 13. I love you guys. Thank you for watching. Hope you have a great day. Bye.